Good morning. It's Marty the JavaScript Party and my buddy Rhett. And it's kind of a chilly day here in Marietta, Georgia, 46 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun is out. It's a little breezy. Rhett is was wanting to get out of her cage this morning. It was interesting. Sometimes every day is a little bit different for her, just like us. But so yeah, yesterday I did a bit of a refactor by naming. Um, I basically ended up sort of with synonyms. This is a sort of happens a lot in software development, where you end up like trying to differentiate two things that do the same thing, and then you end up sometimes combining them. And so in this case, I was sort of using the word like visualization to describe these things, and then I had a different concept for layout, and they were sort of too much. I think they just had too much in common to have it be two separate uh, concepts. Um, but maybe not. Maybe layout. Yeah, layout may very well get very complicated. It'll be interesting. But anyway, so this is a pattern that I've sort of settled into where I have like um, an object, and it has there's usually I guess a dictionary in here, and that dictionary um, has the uh, an ID. So let's look at those are interfaces. Let me close my interfaces up. It gets a bit confusing. Um, so like animations, if you go into the animation service, you'll see that there is a man. This was probably not the right one. Let's go into like renders. So you go into render service, and it has like a dictionary, um, and then it, which basically ends up storing a reference to the renderer, um, and then there's like a function that return like so you can create one of these things, and you'll get a renderer ID back, and then let's see where we get render. See, that always confuses me so much. This thing get base. So where like when you go in, it shows you the name. When you scroll up, it shows you the name right up here. Yeah, I think it's really nice, but I definitely would not want to get rid of it. But it's taken me a while to get used to it, because I think that like, man, what a strange place for this function to start. But I definitely like it, and I definitely think it'll be better. But anyway, so it uses this recyclable sequence generator, generate a renderer ID, and then in the render dictionary, it gets it gets put into the dictionary, so it's easy to get if you know what the render is. So I guess we will want to stick with that. So we do need our recyclable service. Um, yeah, that's probably how I want to do it. So this is the thing that will get so everything in the system will have a unique number. This does end up causing some challenges because we're going to have to, or when we do imports and exports, or yeah, or when people are mucking with the data directly, they could end up. We have to. They could end up creating IDs that don't exist or something. Um, and there'll be some. What I mean by something is there'll be some um, situation where the user will be able to mess. We'll never be able to completely keep these IDs away from them, So I'm hoping for the blue one. Yep, got the blue one. Add our import, and then we got to import inject, and we want to inject it from core, and then we want to use our recycling service to um, to create an ID, and we know it'll be a unique ID. So let's go back in here. And generate. No, yeah, generate ID. So we're going to do something along these lines. It'll be a different name. It's probably easier to copy. So instead of assigning visual ID to a zero, so we're no longer doing that. And then, so I'm just going to delete the lines in between them, and in one fell swoop, just deleted the bad assignment that I copied over. So now we have a visualization ID, and we want to create a actual visualization with the port, the height, or yeah, the with all the things in it, you know, the left, the right, and that kind of stuff. So const. Can't remember what this. Well, it's probably called a visualization, if I know me. Maybe an ST visualization. Okay, so I'm just going to call this for now. I'll give it a name, visualization. And it's of type ST visualization. I'm just going to say that for the moment it has it's an empty array. Now this will tell me what I'm missing. So it says, hey, you're missing an ST left. I feel like there's more than that. Isn't there? So I don't. Okay, so I need to add ID too. Is that how I do that? Let's see. Yeah, so I do an ST and then whatever it is, ID. All right, so there's that, and then one thing I do like doing, let's see, console, go to definition, then split right. Probably need to make, well, once we get over back to where we want to be over here, which we can get alt back, alt left. That's weird. Yeah, this is where I want to be, and then we don't really need this over here anymore. I'm pretty ready, yeah. Let's see, ST visualization. E is equal to our visualization ID. And we still need to figure out left, but we'll set it, we'll default it to left. And then we're just going to default it to 0. ST right. Oh, ST top. So, but I think that at some point I might want them to be able to be like the width of the visualization div to be different than the width of the item, the actual canvas. But I don't know. I mean, at first they're just going to be the same. Love you too, rat. Okay, and then we do get our own ST renderer ID from right there, and that's the next one over here. And we don't have to put an assignment since they're the same name, so we don't have to put the colon in the value. Placement colon false and viz component. Oh, I can just do that. See, so I could do that, or I could do. Oh my gosh. Like I can do the assignment, or I can shorthand and just do it like this. Now, in general, so my normal feeling on that, like just as a normal, just the way I look at life in general, I don't like that. I would rather stay consistent and like we do the full, like the colon. But I sort of had to desensitize myself to it because I didn't like the way it looked. So every time I would see it in anyone's code, I would have a very difficult time. So I just changed the way I did it just so I could kind of be more like, because everyone, I just see a lot of it all over the place. And it sure is easier if you normally do it this way to read that and see that than if you normally do it this way. Then you kind of go over there and my internal parser just kind of chokes on it. But okay, so now let's see. So we're creating our visualization, but we would like to know what the width of the viewport is. And I don't remember exactly how to do that. Let's ask ChatGPT. Oh, and I don't need this dual view anymore. Okay, the question I want to ask is, how can I? With component. So I guess there, and it wasn't always like this, but it looks like we can just get a, let's see. Let's see. Let's just try it. I guess we could just have that. And then sometimes it just feels like things are going too smooth. There's just no way. I have to have something wrong now. So let's see. Let's go back to this view. Create visualization. So this is the function we want to call, and we want to call it in the app when we create these things. So this is the way I did this is real nice for me at this point, but now I need this ID. So I think the next step is to I just don't have any choice, I don't think, right? But I guess we can just do one const. And then push this ID over here. You know what, that's silly. That's just silly. Let's just create a function. I guess we'll go to the end of the constructor. And after the hook, life cycle hook, I'll just say create mesh. No, create renderer. And I don't think it needs any arguments, and it doesn't need to return anything. Basically, it'll do this. We are doing it. Six times. I think we can just do this. Now I'm like, oh, can I just do this? I think so. I can just say, oh my gosh. Three, four. Right, did I have 7 of them? No, 6. Oh my gosh, silly rabbit. I need the line of code. Now I want to go all the way back to where I was and paste that line in there. Yeah, so I think that'll work. So did I still do 7 of them? But as you can, it's actually kind of nice because this is, one of the problems is I need it to go down to the next one. So now over here, it makes sense to say const ID. And so that ID is only exists when for the scope of this render. So then I believe we can get a renderer. We need the renderer. Actually, it's just the renderer ID that we need in the visualization service. Create visual renderer ID, yeah, and the viz component. Visualization service dot create visualization. We want to send it our renderer ID. Oh, ha ha ha! I cannot do that because we don't. Oh, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, we can't create we can't run this function. Oh, so what we need is our IDs, and man, this is a good one. Okay. So the problem is that oh, this is a good one. Okay, so the problem is that the elements don't exist when the renderers are created. There's a definite chicken and egg situation there, right? Like, yeah. So during construction, we build out all these objects. So then at that point, we have the renderer ID, but only after the view inits do we have our visualizations. So it has to happen here, but I have to know the correct I need to know the correct ID, which I bet the viz component knows its visualization ID. So let's go ahead and I guess we might as well still leave this here because we'll be able to loop over it better and stuff like that. So what I want to see is I think the child itself will know its renderer ID. I'm not 100% sure on that, but render input ID. So that's when it was created. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I have no idea what's going to come out there. Probably the renderer ID, or it'll be broken. Okay, so that is the signal. So let's see if it will give us the actual value. Yes. So we get the renderer right. So it does in fact know it's render ID, and that's what it needs, right? Yeah, that's what it needs. It needs a renderer ID. So basically now we can say and no, gosh darn it. What was it before? Okay. Just gonna copy this, put this in my native element. So so this is where you get kind of weirded out a little bit, because then what if the native element isn't actually there? You know, like what do we do? And I don't think I think the compiler will catch that I'm passing in the TypeScript. I guess TypeScript didn't break. All right, so now I think we have some new. I thought we had some new. ng after init create visualization. Oh, I don't have any console logs here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this is the visualization that's coming up. Now, I want to also know what the window viewport width is. There's so much stuff, you know, it's just like to think through. And it didn't, you know, when I was imagining this, I didn't think it was going to be. So we do have the width. And now we need the width of the child. I can't. So the viz component. Okay, so let's go back to the app. Okay, so we aren't oh, so we're supposed to be passing the whole child and not. Why isn't it catching that? Why isn't the TypeScript catching that I didn't pass the right kind of thing in? All right, so we have our whole visualization. We have this width. Here, let's go in here and reload. Okay, so I want to make this a little bigger. Yeah, see, we have our native element in there. So that's where I think we'll be able to find the, oh, darn it. Yeah, this element ref, this native element. I think we'll be able to get the width and the height off of that. So we'll copy this, and I'm going to comment out that console log. And let's come in here. And wait. There it is. I was like, where's this component? Okay. I think we might have to like strongly cast this thing. I don't know what the right word is, but tell it that it is a div. I don't know if it knows that. I'm just going to call it Ella so we can work with it. I kind of just I need to work with it like in the console so that I can try to I need to play this thing through so that I can try to there's my Ella. So if I go to this line instead of that, then Ella will exist. And then I can do this. I come in here and I can do Ella dot. Is this what I want? Rec list. Yeah. And so we have our width and our height in here. So I don't know. I've probably gone long enough. Yeah, 32 minutes, pretty good length for a video. Yeah, we're kind of scatterbrained right now, just trying to, just trying to rein in a lot of different concepts that all need to come together for this layout management kind of effort that we're doing. Everybody, happy coding. So weird. My camera, I think, is locked up. I just noticed I tried to wave into the camera and nothing there. But I see that those are still moving up there, so that's a new one. I've never seen that before. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.